can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Kenny. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Nina. And I'm still tryna fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on. Make me put my hands on my head like the Macarena. They want you walking on board like Kina. And give an F to you like John Cena. Putting blood on the brand new Beamer. Tryna earn they stripes like Adidas. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a Keeta. And expose to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reefer. Dímelo porque o no entiendo. Mi gente must really need Jesus. They shed real blood. I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy week 4, everybody. If you're in the chat, say good morning, Austin. Good morning, Jim, Scott, Melissa, Dewan, Jelly, Bo. Good morning. Welcome in. We're at the quarter mark here. First quarter of the season. Lad, good morning. Leroy, good morning. First quarter mark of the season here. Actually, I guess it's not quarters anymore because they added that extra game on, but you guys know what I mean. We have a lot to talk about today. The Crusher, welcome in here. CJ, Gabe, True Love, all the OGs in the chat early. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, have you seen a week with so many injuries? Tons of injuries. All right, so we have a lot to talk about. So we got Jeff, good morning. We have injuries to go through. Frosty in the chat as well. Injuries to go through. Matt will be joining later on, so stay tuned for that. He'll get in here and we'll get some analysis from him in terms of who he's playing. Kevin, good morning. I'm going to run through some injury stuff and answer your guys' questions, talk about my teams. So typically when I come on the stream, my main like cash team for DFS, I've finished it. I don't have that finished yet. I will be doing that after the stream. So I don't know exactly who I'm playing yet. I'm debating a couple different combinations, 2v2s. So we'll see where kind of I end up there. I do have my tournament teams built out. And I just put in a bunch of touchdown bets that I like a lot. I like a lot of the touchdown stuff today. So we'll talk about that as well. Sierra Man, good morning. Brad, Anthony. Favorite wide receiver on FanDuel? That is a good question. Sierra Man, always bringing the heat here, wanting to know about, his FanDuel team. So I think it's kind of like similar between the sites today. I think on DraftKings, at least at quarterback, you're deciding between Kyler Murray and Jaden Daniels. FanDuel, I think you probably just play Jaden Daniels. And once you have your quarterback kind of fixed there, then you can decide. But I think the top overall wide receiver play on both sites for cash formats or a main team would be Nico Collins today. And then you also have Deontay Johnson. So those are the two top plays for me. And that goes for DraftKings and FanDuel both, Sierra, man. I think those are can't miss cash game plays today. Obviously, Nico has a smash matchup anyways. And then you kind of take Tank Dell out of the picture in a just really good get right spot here for the Texans. And then Deontay, I mean, I don't want to be kind of like overreacting to what we saw last week, but I don't think it is an overreaction. We know what Deontay Johnson is and what he can do. And he was a victim of really, really bad quarterback play. Andy Dalton doesn't need to be good to just get him the ball effectively. So those are the top two plays for me. Both sites at receivers. Yeah, Frosty, good. Just got the vibes up, I feel like. For sure. But All right. So injury-wise, I'm gonna run through the ones off the top of my head. If you guys have more, you can ask about. Um, Mitchell, I'll post it in Discord after. I haven't had time to post it yet. Dom Toretto, good morning. Anyways, okay, Devontae Adams, we know he's out. I don't really know. I don't think that changes a ton. I do think Trey Tucker will get some ownership in cash games on DraftKings. And that's the main thing that affects. Obviously, Jacoby Myers, good tournament play. Brock Bowers is a good play anyways, even better play now. But that's the big fallout kind of from that. We just got news officially. Joe Mixon is out. Damian Pierce was already ruled out. So we have the same situation that we got last week for the Houston Texans. I think Cam Akers is a really good DFS play. They really didn't move his price up much. He's still really cheap on DraftKings. Had a really good role last week. Honestly, like got lucky to get that touchdown, but that's kind of Cam Akers' game. I mean, the script for him is much better this week than it was last week. They got down pretty quick to Minnesota last week, and they were playing catch up the entire game. I don't know if Jacksonville can jump on them, in that same manner. So if we're assuming Houston plays from ahead here, really good spot for Cam Akers. I don't know if Cam Akers will get as high owned as he was last week just because, that Joe Mixon news didn't come out until today, whereas last week we kind of knew going into the weekend that Joe Mixon wasn't going to play. So, and there's just other running backs priced around Cam Akers that we already know are going to be high owned. So I don't know how much of that ownership will pull from those other guys, Najee Harris. You have Chuba Hubbard in there. You have Jordan Mason kind of in that range as well. So I don't know how much ownership will pool from those guys to Cam Akers, just given we didn't get that news until today. But I like Cam Akers a lot this week. I think it's a really interesting pivot off of Diggs and Nico, who we know will be pretty massively owned. It is not Taysom Hill, Mitchell, unfortunately. RJ, good morning. John Dennis, good morning. Yeah, Frosty, you said you love T-Law today. I think that, I've been kind of wishing that this would happen the last few weeks. And I feel bad because this is the first week I'm not playing it, but it would be fitting that this is the first week that, Trevor Lawrence finally has a good game. I could see it. And if anything, it would be good for, any Texans that you have on your teams. 4 wide receiver, 3 running backs. I think you can go either way, RJ. Last week, it was really clear I wanted to play 3 running backs. This week, I think you can go either way. I'm leaning 4 receivers right now just because I might play. I haven't decided if I want to play a punt wide receiver. You have Trey Tucker down there who's going to be owned. You also have Noah Brown, who I like a lot. If you're kind of behind and you think Trey Tucker's going to get ownership, you could pivot to Noah Brown. So I don't know if I want to play a punt receiver yet. That's where I was leaning like Friday night, but I still need to think about some things. But for right now, I'm leaning 4 receivers. Hubbard, Aaron Jones, or Akers Mason, DraftKings cash? Yeah, Brendan, that's a great question. I would take the second one for cash games. I think Hubbard and Akers are very, very similar plays and projections, and one of them is cheaper. And then if you talk about Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, I love Aaron Jones today for tournaments. I love him to score a touchdown today, but for cash games, Mason has a super, secure role. I think Mason will benefit from the 49ers being more healthy this week. Last week, it was super easy for the defense to just key on him. And that's why Juwan Jennings, apologies to anyone that took Juwan Jennings out of their lineup last week also after my kind of analysis of him, but I still would play the same thing that I did last week. That just didn't work out in our favor. But I think it's better for Mason when the 49ers have more guys out there because it's easier for him to get loose on the defense. So I would take that second combination in cash games. Kyron or Bijan in cash? I don't know if I would play either of them. I would definitely lean Bijan over Kyron. I just haven't been a fan of Kyron this year. I know he's been doing good, but I mean, he has not been efficient at all. He's just been getting there on touchdowns, which I mean, I guess that can continue because he has a really, really secure, role in the red zone, but I just don't think he's going to score multiple touchdowns every single week. And when he doesn't, like, he's going to have a bad game. So I just really wouldn't want to play Kyron in cash. I would probably lean Brees Hall over Bijan if you were going to do a spend up, though. Not that Bijan's bad. I'm not talking down on him. I think he's a fine play this week. But I mean, if I was going to play one of those guys in cash, I think I might lean Brees Hall. I don't know. It's close, though, I guess. Elijah Higgins, wide receiver, eligible on FanDuel, too thin. Yeah, Kevin, I wouldn't play. The only reason I'm interested in him is because, he's tight end eligible on DraftKings. I would not play him at receiver, I don't think. Mike, good morning. Yeah, rough go for the Eagles today. I agree, Mike. Not looking too good. They need to just get into the bye week and get their guys back. I think Matt's in here. Let's get him. Matt, you're looking really. I don't know. You just look nice today. I don't know why.
Rolled out of bed, dude. Let's go. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you? How are things? I was gone from my house yesterday, so I feel a little bit out of the loop. So who are you playing? What's kind of just your take on the slate here?
I mean, I struggled a lot with the decision all week of Kyler versus Jaden. I think we talked about that a little bit. I end up going Jaden. I mean, he leads the league in touchdowns inside the 5, rushes inside the 5. I think you mentioned that too. Like, hey, he's happy to call his own number when they get in the red zone. I think, this is his first game on turf. I think that his shiftiness could even be better. And, Arizona's a terrible, terrible defense. They get in a lot of shootouts. So I'm going Jaden. For my main team, I'm actually running him, I think, naked. I don't think I'm running anyone with him. I'm just going to go Connor and Higgins on the other side. I think that's one thing I want to talk about. If you play Jaden this week, I think it's really cool to play Connor because you're saying, hey, it's not going to be through the air for the Cardinals, as much. So I'm going to play Connor. If you play Kyler, I think you should be playing Brian Robinson because you're saying, obviously it's not going to be Jaden, it's going to be Kyler. So I think on my Kyler team, I'm going to have Brian Robinson, and then on my Jaden team, I'll have Connor. So that's kind of the main format that I decided on.
Yeah, I love that. I think Jaden and Connor is like really, really good build. So I'm with you there. I have not landed on my cash team yet, but I'm gonna have. So this is what I did. I have 3 max. I played 2 Burrow teams and 1 Deshaun Watson team, and then I have a Fields team, and then I'm gonna have a Jaden and Connor kind of correlated team. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
What are you leaning for cash as far as quarterback?
Oh, cash. I'm not including that in what I'm just said, but okay. I'll play Jaden or Kyler. I just haven't decided on the build, I guess.
I like it. Yeah. The only thing I added, so I think I told you, I mean, I'm playing Jaden, Kyler, Burrow, Fields. And then I did add a Caleb team this morning, believe it or not.
Okay. Yeah. So I think Caleb, I don't have him on the main slate. I'm going to make an early slate team with him. Okay. And then I have a ticket on him 22-1 to lead Sunday in passing yards.
I like that. Yeah. I mean, Rams are terrible. He's one of the very few quarterbacks in the league that's shown even the ability to attempt 50 passes like he did last week. We'll talk about that game in specific because, the Colts are a play elevator. They yet again this year, second year in a row, they are averaging the most opponent plays per game. So you do see some play elevation. I think that Caleb and the Bears have just succumbed to the fact that they can't run. Their scheme is disastrous, and they're just going to chuck it. I like that Keenan's back. No one's playing him. I'll be playing Keenan with DJ Moore, and I think that game could be sneaky pretty good.
Yeah, that's exactly why I took it. First time since week 1 that he's going to have all of his, the 3 receivers there ready to roll. And then, like you said, just with how bad, and I feel like that's been a big narrative, how bad they've been running the football. So I think we could really see, especially with it being at home, like this could really be a
Yeah,
big breakout game for him, I think.
and just to clarify, I was talking about Indy being a play alert. Obviously, we'll talk about what that
Mhm.
means
Yeah.
for the Steelers specifically. So are you on Najee this week? I'm assuming, or
Yeah, I think
okay,
he's a great I think he's a great play. No problems with him. I'll have him in cash. I have him on at least one of my non-Fields teams. I wouldn't play him with Fields though, I don't
okay.
think. So, I guess maybe you could, but I never thought about it much just because
I
I
think
really,
it's.
really
I
like
think
Pickens, so
I do too. I think Pickens has been. I mean, he's had incredibly difficult matchups all year, and he's still a
Mhm.
top 5 player in average separation this year. The thing is, in this year's NFL, with scoring so down, I think these quarterback, running back, receivers lineups are more viable. I just, if you get the game that goes, bazonkers, that's going to be your ticket to do it. I mean, I think that. I mean, Najee's not exciting. His metrics aren't even that great this year. But like, this is an Arthur Smith offense going against a pretty big run funnel with elevated play elevated play volume. I just think that this year you can do that. But and he'll get some catches. Nothing crazy, but he'll get some catches.
No, yeah, that's a good point, for sure. Please don't make us play Akers again. What's your take on the whole Joe Mixon situation? I actually think Akers is a way better play this week than last week because I feel like the ownership is really concentrated around Cam Akers. I just can't see him getting out of control in ownership when you already have everyone playing Najee around there. You still have Jordan Mason in that range, Chuba Hubbard's in that range. I don't know. And the last week coming into the weekend, we knew that Joe Mixon was not going to play. We didn't really know until I guess today. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I
ownership is
think
way
Cam
better
Akers.
this week.
Yeah,
Way
I think he's
way
a way
better.
better play this week than he was last week.
I don't know if I'm going to get to him. I have so much Nico. I mean, this is a bottom 3 secondary going into the league, going into the start of the season, and they've done nothing but lose players. Obviously, everyone and their mother has heard they run the most man defense in the league, and Nico absolutely destroys man coverage. Of course, there's no Tank Dell. That's the thing. I have Nico in I think almost every lineup. I can't. I know Akers is really cheap, but I don't know. I want to bet on, and I'm betting on Jacksonville keeping up a little bit. Believe it or not, I do think Jacksonville can put up points. They're in a desperate situation here. Houston's pass D is not as good as people think it is. They have a good pass rush, but their overall coverage is not that great. So I think that I just want to lean on Nico.
Yeah. And then another running back in that range, Zach Moss, we haven't talked about. I think is a really good play as well. If like
Agreed.
I know we're pretty in on Burrow and T. Higgins here, you and I both, but I guess on like a non-Burrow team, I kind of
Yeah,
like getting Zach
I do
Moss as the
too.
piece from that game.
Absolutely. I mean, late in the game, like they had Chase Brown like driving him down the field, and they pulled him off the field to put in Moss near the goal line, like just to give him the touch. Like I think that he's a nice play at his cost and ownership. Uh, Frosty says J.K. Dobbins or Aaron Jones. It's not even close. It's Aaron Jones for me.
Agree.
I'm really high on Aaron Jones. He's going to be my main lineup. I don't think he's going to be played that much. He's got
I
6
thought he was
targets
going to
the
be
last 2
chalk on
weeks.
like Tuesday,
I
but
know.
that didn't end up happening, which I like.
For sure. Yeah, it's 100% Ertz crazy. I mean,
I
tight
don't
end
hate
so
it, to be honest.
no, I
Tight
mean
end's
tight end
fine.
is so dust. I mean, if that's where your conviction is, like, no, I don't hate it. It's fine.
Yeah, I think it's fine too. Favorite defense, both sites. DraftKings. I mean, the Falcons are probably the cheapest I would go on DraftKings. Man, the Saints, man, I know we were so in on the Saints last week, but I mean, they got so banged up. Multiple offensive linemen got hurt in that game, and
Mhm.
Philly's really struggled at times to translate. Like they have great players on their defensive line, but they've really struggled at times to translate that to like getting pressure on the quarterback. And that was
Mhm.
not the case last week with those linemen going out. Like they were just bum rushing up the middle of the line and just getting to Derek Carr. He had really no
Yeah.
time to do anything. And it was super unfortunate for us that broke that way. So I think Falcons are an underrated like defensive scheme. And I definitely think that, they could employ a similar game plan there. So I like Falcons probably for the cheapest. I don't know if like I'm spending up for defense. It's kind of like whoever fits in unless I'm trying to correlate with a running back, I guess.
Yeah. I like so I mean I think chalk is Texans. I think that's fine. plenty of mistakes to be made there by Lawrence, as we've seen this year. I like, for a little bit more expensive and way less ownership, the Bears at home against a dome team. Stafford has a lot of mistakes. They're 31st in O-line pass block efficiency this year. They've lost a lot of talent on the O-line. And Chicago Bears are number 3 in pressure rate this year. I think that certainly that could be a good play. And was it $100 more than Texans and way less ownership? So I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I like the Bears too. No Josh Allen love. Yeah, that's the game's only on FanDuel. Matt and I both, like, we don't play FanDuel a ton. We do play. I play it, but not near as much as I play DraftKings. So
yeah,
I mean, it's Josh Allen. You could play him every single week. Should be a good game against Baltimore, but I don't know. Baltimore Buffalo feels like it could shoot out, but then like also it ends up like 17-14, and you're like, yeah, that game was always going to be 17-14.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at that game, to be honest.
Yeah, I haven't much either. Brian Robinson looking like a hustle motion. I think he's fine for tournaments. I wouldn't go crazy. Like Matt said, like if you're playing Kyler, it'd be interesting to get him on the other side of it, which I agree with. So I don't really care much if single players are getting owned. It kind of just comes down to like how you correlate them and like the lineups that you're building around them, and what percentage of lineups. If you're playing Brian Robinson, make sure you don't have other guys that those will be common, in that build.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's just a lot of risk with Jaden vulturing him there, and it's a fine play. Again, I'm playing him on my Kyler team, so I'll let Jaden read this week. I don't know if he's not really been talked about much, especially at 6K. I think that you look at his historical splits versus this Brian Flores, crazy defense in Minnesota. It's incredible. And obviously we have Jordan Love coming back. I just think no one's playing him. We saw what he did week 1, with the healthy Jordan Love. He went absolutely nuclear, scoring through the air and on the ground. I mean, if he came close to that 36, point output, he's going to have to be on, all the winning lineups this week at super low ownership.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Don't hate that at all. What's your take? Is there anyone, like, I think stack wise, like, you're pretty set. Is there anyone other than Jane Reed, obviously, but I mean like quarterback wise, like, is there anyone you're playing that you think is going to be super low owned, or is it just kind of a tight pool for you this week?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely gonna be low owned stacks out there. I think, a lot of my money is not even in stacks. My Kyler team, I actually am playing Marvin. I think it's kind of crazy, like what receivers have done to outside corners on Washington for 2 straight years, and no one's really playing Marvin. I don't think
he has size too. We've talked about that, like,
especially
the bigger guys, like they just really struggle with. I mean, he's not huge, but he definitely is, dude. Bigger than some guys.
Marv obviously had the quiet week 1, but then like he has 3 touchdowns. He could have 6 right now. With the amount of chucks they do and fades in the red zone, and he's only going to keep getting better. This is at home in a dome against the worst pass defense in the league. I can't believe people are playing Kyler, and then they're just like dinking around and not actually clicking the Marv button. So I am doing that, and then I do think the Caleb team that I put together is going to be super low owned, going like a Caleb double. I think that's going to be really tough to find in these GPPs.
Yeah, it's Caleb for me. I think it's a good play, and then I don't know, like. I have, like I said, I have Watson on one team. I'm not super convicted on it, but he had 18 DraftKings points last week. And, man, I thought that, like, because I had him on a couple teams last week, I thought it was going to be the nuts. Like, he comes out, they got a fumble, and he instantly threw, like, first play of the game, touchdown pass to Amari Cooper. So I was feeling really good. And then the game just kind of, like, died from there because New York was getting so much pressure on him. So Vegas is like bottom of the league in pressure rate as it is. Now they're probably not going to have Max Crosby. So I don't know. And then the Browns defense has not been the Browns defense that we saw from last year. So I do think that game has some equity to where, like I said, the Browns do want to play fast. If you catch them on the game where they can get the ball rolling, like I think the game will be reasonably fast paced. So I don't know. I think there's some upside for that. Maybe in tournaments. Touchdown picks, Matt. Who's your favorite today to score?
For like, long shot odds, I like T. Higgins quite a bit. He could have had 2 or 3 touchdowns last week. Just coming back, he's getting his legs under him. I think that this is an unreal spot. The number 2 outside corner on Panthers is the most targeted cornerback in the league. We saw Chase go off last week. I think they want to get T going, and I think I love the odds for that. I think it's a 2-touchdown week for James Conner as well.
I'm lockstep with you. Love those guys. I like Travis Kelce too. I think that he's scoring a touchdown today. I mean, it's not like he's been close to scoring. He got tackled inside the 5, I think twice this year. And I mean, it's just been like, I try not to be too narrative-y, but like that's all anyone's been talking about is like the picture of him sitting there, on the bench, like looking, I don't know, like disinterested or whatever. Just like, he just looks sad, but no, he's scoring a touchdown today. 100%.
I think like it's to the point where Mahomes needs to make it happen. And honestly, I know it's silly, but like, there's also like, there's no Derwin James. He's suspended for the week. He's, the incredible tight end defender on the back end. There's no Joey Bosa. So the pressure rate's not going to be nearly as good. They're already 31st in pressure rate. Makes me want to take shots at someone like Xavier Worthy because he also is having a lot of negative talk against him. He's been a ghost the last 2 weeks. But all this stuff, like, I know Rashee Rice is what, the second highest owned receiver projected this week. Do you have it? Are you playing Rice? I don't have much of him. I have like 1 out of 6 lineups.
Yeah, I don't have much of him right now.
Okay. Is it because of your conviction on everything else or?
Yeah, and he just like, I don't know. I feel like a few times this year, like I've come into the slate and it's like there's 4 or 5 guys in that mid tier that I feel like really, really strong about. And I'm like, I want to build with these 4 guys on like every team. That's not the case this week. Like there's so many guys I feel like in good spots in that. Like if you go from Marv down to the, I don't know, you go from Marv all the way down to Odunze at 5,100. I would find like 20 guys that I'm interested in playing. And that has not been the case for me this season at all. So I don't know. There's just too many guys I want to play for me to get to him a ton. If he's going to be super, super owned, I guess.
They're not going to be pushed either. I think Chiefs destroy the Chargers today. They're also out. The Chargers are out both of their outside tackles, and they're very good outside tackles. They're both not playing. So like, this could just be an absolute ass whooping. And I just don't see, them. I mean, they have a big pass rate. They're going to pass the ball, but I really believe in touchdown equity this week going towards like Kelce, Carson Steele, maybe even Kareem Hunt, Dusty. This is the best time he's playing this year. So it's like maybe they get Hunt out there. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't have any Mike Evans. I think he's fine. I still would rather play Godwin just because I know the role is better. Eagles are bad in slot coverage. And once again, this happened last week. Like there were so many plays around Chris Godwin. He ended up being super low owned when we thought he was going to be chalk. I think the same thing will happen again. I don't think he's going to get played much at 6,800. So I would rather play Godwin because I don't think he's going to be owned, but Mike Evans could score 2 touchdowns against Philly secondary. I would not be sure.
Totally. Avonte Maddox is so bad though. Godwin keeps running into these, and every week we're going to say like he's got the Cooper Kupp role from the Liam Cohen offense that came over this year to the Bucs. So like I don't have any of them, and it kind of terrifies me because I don't think he's going to be very high owned. It's like, oh my God, like no pun intended, but like, how do we not like, I don't know.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's so many guys this week. Like that has not been the case for me this year.
Totally. Yeah. This is actually, this is a really good GPP week. You have players across the entire range, in the low end, you got Trey Tucker, you got pivots around him. Did we talk about Noah Brown yet? I think that's a viable play.
Yeah. So I was talking before you got on here, like for cash, like I'm playing Noah Brown in tournaments anyways, but I think for cash, Trey Tucker will get some ownership. So I think what you can do is if you want to play that lineup with the punt receiver, you put Trey Tucker in, and then, if your early guys aren't doing good, like it's a 1-for-1, you just move him to Noah Brown. So.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I like that.
Yeah. But I'm playing Noah Brown in tournaments 100%. Think he's a great play, and no one is playing him.
Leads the league in separation score for 20+ routes on the year. So I don't know. Say what you will about that. A lot of it could just be route design, not just physical, ability, but
But he's good. Like the last time we saw him in Houston, he was super efficient. Like,
remember when you and I won $1 gazillion because it was Noah Brown week, like randomly at low ownership last year? Like that was so sick.
Yeah, it could happen again today. Our guy will just come through for us again.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, this has been a bad Survivor year. I'm dead in all my Survivors because of the Bengals last week, except for one that's double elimination. I'm in one that's double elimination. Matt, it was like 60 people, and it's down to 10 people on double elimination.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
In 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm probably going to play the Jets in that one. Upset though. Oh, we've kind of been on these upsets. I
Like,
like
literally every week. There's been a lot of upsets, but, like, I think
yeah,
last week we were perfect again. Like, we named, like, 4. I think they all
yeah.
won.
I like the Buccaneers at home. Todd Bowles has completely owned Jalen Hurts in his career, and the Eagles are down literally at anyone of substance other than Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts. Like, they're banged up on the O-line. They have no Devon Smith, no A.J. Brown. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. So I like the Buccaneers short dogs at home. I don't know. Do you have anyone?
Yeah, I mean, I've been
Anyone
saying
else?
Vikings every week, and they keep
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, the
hitting.
Vikings do
So,
it every single week.
yeah,
They're disrespected every single
they
week.
really are. And I would say for sure that we think that, Commanders can keep it rolling and certainly get a win in Arizona. I mean, the 3.5, the hook scares me a little bit,
Yeah.
but they're certainly live.
Do you have any teams you like? I love the Bears -3. Like, love.
I haven't looked at too many lines. I'm very confident in the Chiefs, and I wouldn't hate kind of teasing that a little bit. Maybe
Mhm.
combining. I think the Bears are a pretty good spot. There's gonna be a little weather there too. We know Stafford does not do well outdoors in general.
Yeah, like
Like,
I guess I struggle with this, but like I think what's clouding people's brains are that the Rams were in that game last week against the 49ers, but like
yeah,
we have
yeah,
to
yeah.
remember the 49ers had their entire team was done. I
Plus,
mean,
that's McVay or Shanny. Like,
yeah,
that's
like
all he
you
cares
you
about.
always get noise with McVay, Shanahan,
Yeah,
and the 49ers entire team was hurt. Like, if that was
yeah,
a fully healthy 49ers team, I think that's a different situation. So I think that's kind of clouding people's brains here, but I don't know. I like the Bears at -3 at home.
agreed. I like that.
Mason or Godwin in cash games. I think Mason will be higher owned.
Are you playing Mason? Are you playing him this week? We should have mentioned that.
No,
Second
I
is way
don't
up
think
there.
I have any of him right now. I think he's a
I
good
don't.
play though. I think I think them being healthy helps him because it's not as easy to key on him. Like, they were just so keying on the run game last week and he couldn't do anything. Like, he got stuffed inside the 5 like 4 times. I don't think that
Yeah.
happens when you have George Kittle and Deebo Samuel on the field as well. But
Hmm.
I don't have any of him right now, I don't think. I think he's a
I
fine
don't
player.
either. He's fine. Yeah.
I mean, it's really like what would have to happen for him to beat me? And you have to have scored 3 touchdowns, I think. Because he's not going to catch
Yeah.
many passes. Like, he's good for 1 or 2 catches, but I mean, have to go 102 or 3 TDs to really like bury you. I don't
I
know if
think
that happens.
Aaron Jones and Connor are just such better plays at
Agree.
the same price. Like, I can't get there.
Completely agree.
Sh-
Wait, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Akers, Rice, Higgins versus Jones, Godwin, Tremble. I don't know.
I guess, man, the first is more chalky.
Yeah, I guess like
Certainly.
the first one. Tight end for
Yeah.
cash. Matt, you're playing Higgins, I think, right?
I am. Yeah. It's funny that I'm
Yeah.
playing him on my Jaden team and then on my Kyler team. I'm playing Strange, but
I
like
think he's fine. I mean, any of those cheap guys are fine. Like, you're hoping to get like 6 points out of
they
it.
love him. I mean, in camp, I think I sent you that little blurb. Like, they were obsessed with Higgins all
Mhm.
camp. But obviously, McBride's their guy. Well, he's getting a shot now. He played every snap when McBride went down last week. I mean, there's so much, to go around in Arizona, so it's not like it's a total smash, but he certainly is in a good spot.
Yeah. Daniels, Hubbard, Atlanta Falcons, or Murray, Akers, Houston in cash.
First, I go to first. I go to Daniels in Atlanta over
Yeah.
Murray, Akers, Houston, personally.
Yeah, those are both really close, Matt. I guess I'd lean first as well. I would play Akers over Zamir White. And is this Zamir Leroy?
Yeah.
Is this Zamir White or Rashad White? I think that changes things for me.
Bucky's playing.
I saw that. Yeah, he still really hasn't like. I know he's been ascending, but he really has not got any red zone work. And like, I feel like coming into the season, we knew that he was going to steal work between the 20s. Like, Rashad White still has a great pass catching role and a red zone role. So until Bucky Irving starts taking red zone work, that's when I would get concerned.
Hey, we gotta talk about this. Jair Alexander is likely not to play today. There's been a
Oh
lot of poop talk going back and forth
Oh
this week
no.
with Jeddah's, and Jeddah's like, he's
Yep.
like, look, I don't really care about the match, like, because dude, Jair has kind of handled him historically, and he's like, I don't really care about the matchup, and he's kind of all, dude. I mean, I know it's outdoors, Jefferson. He's literally like going to be 2 to 4% owned. And the best receiver in football should never be alone. I mean, that's just my rule. I know I'm biased. I'm a massive fan of his, but he should never be 2 to 4% owned. He hasn't put together a full game yet this year. He's had these, 97-yard touchdown, another big bomb, but like he hasn't really even gone off yet. Truly, I got to get him in. I'm not like a big wide receiver cornerback matchup guy. But like in this case, man, I just think that changes the entire like matchup for him and the game and the
No, it does.
the shit
Who would
talking.
you play him with, though, is my question.
I mean, I think if you're going for a back and forth, you got to play Reed. I think Reed in the spot could be. I mean, if Jettis is going off, man, yeah, it'd be Reed for me. I already like him. I mean, you could even make the argument you go Darnold, Jefferson, Aaron Jones, and Reed if you want to just price in big back and forth game. But I'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's tough. That is tough.
I'm so predictable. It's like every week I got to talk about Jefferson, but
it's
gonna be good weather in Green Bay, very low winds, like 75 degrees. Like, come
on. Okay, Leroy said it was Rashad White. So Rashad White versus Cam Akers season long.
I think you go Rashad. But
yeah, I'd probably just play Rashad. Like I said, we need to see it on the field. When Bucky Irving starts taking red zone stuff, then I'll get worried. But for now, I know he's going to get red zone work, and I know he's going to catch some passes, so it's fine for me. Someone had asked favorite prop of the day. I like. I'm going to do like I did last week. Who did I do last week? I did CD Lamb and someone. Oh, Olave. Last week I did Olave 50 plus yards, Lamb 50 plus yards. And it was like minus 120.
It's free money. I mean, that was free.
Yeah, it was a great play. So then this week I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm going to do George Pickens 40 plus receiving yards. Nico Collins 50 plus receiving yards. It's like minus 125. I don't understand this.
Why do they let people do that?
I don't know. I mean, I guess Pickens could maybe not get 40, but he can get 40 on one catch. That's why when I bet stuff like that, I love like he can get 40 yards on one reception. He doesn't even need volume to do that.
I'm fairly confident in this matchup for Pickens.
But I like Pickens over just anyways. It's like 53.5 or something.
He finally gets a good matchup. He's in the dome. They lost Juju Brents. They lost their starting defensive end, Kwity Paye. They lost DeForest Buckner. Like this, they also offer the most plays to the opponent. Like, dude, if you're not playing Pickens today, then you should never play him. He's not even highly owned.
Yeah, I thought he was kind of going to get steamed too, but just Najee's so owned. Like it's such a this is such a good day for Pickens. Come on,
that's what I was asking. Like, hey, like I said, do I play Najee? Because he is objectively a great play, right? This is how. But like, do you just play Pickens and just I don't know. God.
Yeah, I guess that is tough.
And I wish it was 4 p.m. games because then I could just
then you could decide later.
I hate this.
Olave or Shakir season long? Yeah. What are we doing with Olave season long? I know that I don't love a hamstring on Friday. I know he's going to play, but I don't love that.
I mean, Olave or Shakir.
I mean, that's a little risky. I don't know. Re-injury risk is certainly there. I could see the underdog alert, like Chris Olave in the blue 10 or something. Like I could see that.
They did put out like twice today that like he's good, he's playing. But I mean, if you're a big favorite in this matchup, play Shakir. If it's close, you're underdog. I think you play Olave. But
agree. I have him on a team. I need to think. If it were me, Scott, I'd probably go Shakir. I gotta look at I have one team that's really good with Olave on it, and I gotta decide if I'm gonna play him or not as well. CJ Rice, Akers, Godwin's, Chuba, Higgins, Connor. Okay, Higgins, Connor for cash is out, I think. So I think it's those first two. And it's probably the Oh man, I don't know.
I have
I
T
was gonna say
Higgins.
it's probably the first one, but I don't
I
know.
have T Higgins and Connor in my cash, but again,
Yeah.
I'm different.
Yeah,
I'm
you
a
play
weirdo.
differently than I feel like
I
most
only play
people.
30% cash and whatever, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
God, the Colts have not given up many big plays defensively through the air, and obviously Pittsburgh, like they have a massively negative pass rate over expectation. They run the ball a lot. Obviously, it's Arthur, but
I feel like Odunze kind of was getting cooking though against them
he
last week.
was, yeah. He could have had
So
even more. Ugh, God,
yeah,
whatever. We'll figure it out. I'm like panicking. I want more Pickens. I
it's
need to
such a
add in some
weird
Jefferson.
situation because historically, like, okay, coming out of the draft, I was really high on George Pickens. Like, I wanted the Browns to draft him. Like, I was super high on him, and then throughout what we've seen, I know it's been kind of systemic because the offenses have not
Yes.
been good, but he's known as like an outside kind of clasher. Like, he's gonna get downfield, he's gonna make contested catches, and that's kind of just what he does. But this year, like, he looks to have like taken a leap. Like, dude, not many people can say that they have cooked Pat Surtain, but he was like he was moving against Surtain. Like, he
Yeah.
had a couple long ones that they were getting called back. Like, I don't know. He could just be really, really good, and we haven't got the chance to see it yet because of, like you said, the matchups that he's had so far. So
Matchups and quarterback play last couple of years.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, man, I don't know. That's
His
such a good
separation is
spot
off
for
the
him.
charts to start the year, which is not usually his issue's been no separation, just make a contested catch. Well, he's
Yeah.
separating a lot this year. Obviously, they have new play caller, new OC. Like, I mean, this could be one of those Drake London games last that we saw, with Arthur, where he just has an ungodly game. I mean,
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I'm definitely playing some of them, but man, I don't know. For cash though, I'd
Strange or
probably
Fryer.
price Strange or
Stay with
Fryermuth.
Najee for cash. Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
Yeah,
Strange or
agree.
Fryermuth. I mean, they're not the same price, and Fryermuth, I think, 800 more. I like Fryermuth as a play straight up better, but I think Strange
Yeah,
is the better point per dollar. But
agree. And I'm loyal because Strange came through for me on Monday night. I just have to show loyalty to that guy. That anytime touchdown bet.
oh yeah,
Ertz 3 rep is good at receptions. Yes. Yeah, I feel bad. True Love, I feel stupid because I bet that week 1 Ertz over 2.5 catches. It was free. And I think he's done it every week since then. And I just like stopped betting it. I don't understand that. I should have been betting that every single week.
yeah,
Frosty likes Brian Thomas Jr. anytime touchdown.
yeah. I don't mind that. There's been a lot of talk about Peterson wanting to simplify the offense for T-Law. He's been struggling a lot. I think that probably means opening up some deep shots. For sure, that's BTJ. I like him. I like BTJ and Kirk. I like them both this week.
Someone else asked Olave versus Shakir too. That's crazy.
Oh,
Scott
no
and Legault have the same question. I would go Shakir if it's season long, personally. If they lose Zach Taylor, is he fired tomorrow? Man, I don't know.
He's on the hot seat. I mean,
He's on the hot seat, but
honestly,
I haven't seen a dead man walking like Doug Peterson in a while. That guy is on the plank and walking right now.
He is. Yeah. I mean, Zach Taylor's gotten this team deep in the playoffs. Like, we'll see. And they're a slow starting team historically.
They start 0-4 though.
I know. No, I know. That's you can't. Yeah.
What are we doing here? And it's not like they were playing a gauntlet. I mean, they played the Patriots and the Commanders.
No, it's insane.
What are they doing?
He's such a fake sharp.
He does suck. I feel like we've talked about him sucking for multiple years. Like even when they were like supposedly good, I feel like we were on this.
Yeah, totally. Reed versus Pickens. I mean, he brings up 2 guys that I'm like really high on. Reed versus Pickens. I mean, God,
man. If you have Aaron Jones, it would make more sense to play Reed in that scenario. If this is just a one-off, I would take Pickens, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
Personally.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I just don't have enough here. First Pickens, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't even pass the ball.
Just bet him to score. He's like plus 150 to score touches. Bet that, and then you're good, regardless, I guess. Rams or Atlanta in cash. I'd probably play Atlanta, Matt, but I mean, Matt, the Matt I'm speaking to, made a good case for Oh wait, no, we like the Bears. What am I talking
Bears
about?
defense,
No,
correct.
yeah. Say, the Rams are going to be chalk, Matt. I agree with that. I would play Falcons over them though. I don't understand why the Rams defense is chalk. Like because they're
Well, I
going
mean,
against a
Caleb can
rookie
make
quarterback,
mistakes.
I
Yeah,
guess.
even in
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
suck though.
I know, but a lot of dropbacks, like 50,
Yeah.
50, like it's
Like
just
I was pretty shocked when I saw they've given up the most net yards gained per pass attempt. It's like not even close. Like they were at 9 and like the next closest was like 7.5.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would play Falcons, but all right. If you guys have last minute questions, drop them in. I got to go finish my cash team. I got to look over my other teams. What's your favorite team that you have today, Matt? Obviously, I know your main team is like your main team, but like, we'll take that out of the picture.
If I take that out of the picture, just looking at them, I would honestly, I'd say it's a little chalky, but I like the minis that I have in it. Would be my Kyler team.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have the mini of Aaron Jones and Jaden Reed, which is super low owned. I played Kyler with Marv, which is surprisingly low owned, but I still have like some chalk. I have Brian Robinson. I have Nico. I have a run back with Nico with Strange there. So like I think that's probably my.
That's a good team.
Yep.
I'm not playing any Philly wide receivers. They are not good. Like Jahan Dotson, I don't know what happened to that guy. Like that dude was a freak at Penn State. Like the exact type of guy that would have success in the NFL today. Just like absolute separation guy, like gets open at will. And it just, I don't know, something has happened to him. So I'm not playing them. I don't even know like who else. Like they don't have Britton Covey anymore, and they were like drawing up plays for Britton Covey a few weeks ago. So I don't even know like other than
all
Dotson.
that being said, are you playing Goddard? Like Goddard's going to be very highly owned, and he exploded last week.
I don't know. I think this is my take on the Eagles today. They have a bye week next week, so they know that they're limping in here. They're trying to get to the bye. They'll come out of the bye. They'll have all their guys back. They not only have massive negative splits without Lane Johnson, they just have like Jalen Hurts has played Todd Bowles multiple times in the playoffs and gotten shredded both times. And I don't even think Todd Bowles is that great of a coach, but he owns Jalen Hurts for some reason. So there's like a legit like there's so much systemic risk with the Eagles. Like they could score 3 points. I would not be shocked. So I don't know. I just don't see any reason. Like I don't want to play really chalk tight ends anyways, given the current landscape of things. And especially when he's 5,100, it just feels gross. Like, would you rather play Dallas Goedert over Romo Dunze or something like that? Like I probably wouldn't, right?
No, I mean, and even like I know, okay, if Goddard didn't explode last week, he wouldn't be but not that doesn't matter. But like I don't know,
but that's when you want to play him. Like I liked him last week because he was 3% owned in a high owned game.
Dude,
Now
Kittle or Bowers, I like them both better.
I would play Bowers over him all day.
Yeah,
for sure. So now and then like I don't even know who else is going to play. Like we might see some Johnny Wilson sightings. I mean, just like I don't know. Like just I'm not touching it. Drake London, DJ Moore, T. Higgins, half PPR, pick one. Your team is loaded.
Yeah, 8-man league.
What kind of a league is this? Drake London, DJ Moore, T. Higgins. Jesus. I mean, it's probably T or DJ. DJ Moore, what's your take? Do you have him on your Caleb team? Man,
I do.
I kind of have the feeling. I kind of woke up with the feeling like, man, this could be the DJ Moore day.
He has got 8, 10, and 10 targets the first 3 weeks with Caleb. He's yet to really explode. He had some ungodly huge games last year.
Yeah, man. I'm kind of feeling that might be my bold call today. DJ Moore 150 and 1. I'm kind of feeling it.
I like it. My
bold. So I would take him. I think
I would same line.
Yeah, I would take him. I think if picking one, Paris Campbell and Cash, no shot. RR. I would not do that. I would play Trey Tucker or Noah Brown both over him if you want to take the punt receiver. I can't play Paris Campbell and Cash. That's
no.
disgusting. Oh, 10-man team. Yeah, that team is stacked. That's actually crazy.
T-Law under 4% owned. I mean,
yeah,
quarterback ownership doesn't matter that much, and I mean he's fine. Like I said, I'm fairly high on most of his pass catchers, but he's fine.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you all. Good viewership, Matt. Over 200 viewers across all platforms right now.
Sweet.
That's pretty good. So thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. We'll be back next week, week 5. I'd like to get like a during the week pod with Matt at some point here. Just things are going on behind the scenes. Like I've talked about this a few times. So we'll see if we can get that at some point
For sure. Yeah.
this season. But thank you guys for tuning in. Good luck this week. I'm posting some more bets in Discord, so hop in there if you guys aren't. And yeah, good luck this week. See you guys next week.